You're listening to the Bust-Proof Business Podcast, taking your business to the next level by taking you out of it. With our experience and proven results, we'll help you find the success that many crave, but only we can help you achieve. It's time to get started with your host, Greg Murphy.
Hey guys, it's Greg Murphy from the Bust-Proof Business Podcast, and today I talk with Nathan Hirsch from freeup.com. That's with 3 E's, freeup.com. And he actually started a business that helps you hire outsourced workers for e-commerce companies. And it goes beyond a lot of the stuff that it's actually specifically for Amazon and eBay sellers. That's where they started, and then they expanded their offerings. So I'm really excited to talk to him. I talked to him a little bit beforehand, and it's really something that I think is going to be useful for our business 100%. And we're definitely going to start using them today. And I think it's something that you guys might be interested in. He actually started selling on Amazon. In fact, what I learned really quickly is that he started by actually selling textbooks on Amazon, which, as a lot of you guys know by now, a lot of folks start with books before they move on to other things. I'm just the guy that stayed there. So yeah, let's get into talking with Nathan Hirsch about freeup.com. Hey guys, it's Greg Murphy from the Bust-Proof Business Podcast, and today I'm with a real good friend of mine, Nathan Hirsch, from freeup.com, and that's with 3 E's. Okay, and Nathan has a really interesting background in wholesale on Amazon, and then he created this really great site about hiring remote workers for e-commerce. And this is going to be really beneficial to you guys that sell on Amazon and that also just have individual e-commerce businesses otherwise. So Nathan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Greg. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Thanks so much for being on the show with me today. We've talked a little bit, and I'm really excited about using your product for our business. But before we get into that, let's talk about your Amazon sales history. I guess you were doing millions of dollars in wholesale for a while. Is that right?
Yeah, so we started off with retail drop shipping. So to kind of back up before that, I was 20 years old. I was a broke college student looking for extra beer money. And I got the idea to start buying textbooks instead of people selling them back to the bookstore, because you all know that the bookstore rips you off. So I thought it was a good way to make extra money. I would buy people's books at the end of the semester, resell them at the beginning of next semester, and that was kind of supplemental income. And books led me to Amazon, because you don't sell books for very long without learning about Amazon and their place in the market. And that was about the time that Amazon was more of a bookstore, and they were just getting into selling other products. So I randomly one day experimented with drop shipping some toys and home goods and baby products from different retail websites, different deal sites. And it was not only successful, but I became addicted to it to the point where I was just doing it 8 hours a day and growing this drop shipping retail arbitrage business back when you could do that successfully on Amazon. And now you go on a listing and there's 100 sellers. But back then it was like me and 2 other people. So I really got in at the beginning, and I grew this huge business with the help of my business partner, Connor, who I met in college. I was running a multi-million-dollar business out of my college dorm room. I hired my first worker or employee before I could legally drink. And I kind of came upon this by accident and then took it to the next level. And when I graduated, I moved to Florida. I started hiring different people, both remote and on site. I opened up an office with my business partners, and one of my friends told me about Upwork, which was called Odesk at the time, and that's how I really got into hiring workers from around the world, not just in the U.S. We can kind of talk about that more when we get into FreeeUp, but that's kind of my story on how I got into Amazon and growing and hiring and managing people.
So you started, Nathan, in books then? That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that part. That's where we started, and we really never left.
Yeah, so I thought that textbooks would go obsolete by now, now that they have the Kindle and the ebooks and all that. But that really hasn't happened yet. But there was also, I just didn't want to carry textbooks around all day for the rest of my life.
They're very heavy.
Yeah, and drop shipping was pretty nice because I didn't have to touch anything.
Right, yeah. Well, that's amazing. I had no idea that you started with textbooks. A lot of my friends still do what you used to do. They'll actually go with $60,000, $70,000 in cash and go and set up shop at a outside of a college and just spend a bunch of money buying books right then and then sell them online.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good business model. If you have the process in place and you have the cash and you're able to carry around all the books, I mean, it works.
But you only want to do that for a few years and then the back starts hurting and then you want to move into something else.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, if you saw my college dorm room, I had an extra room in my dorm room. I was fortunate to have that was just full of books. Like no one could go in there. Books just occupied it.
Okay, terrific. So let's talk a little bit about before you started FreeeUp, you were dealing. I haven't had very much luck in hiring people to work for me offsite. I don't know if it's the fact that I'm not a great manager or whatever. I've tried to use the services, some of the big name services to hire people from the Philippines and different places. And I've just crapped out every time I've tried. So how did you, I guess, in the early stages, get really good at this kind of thing?
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to make some really good hires at the beginning that kind of fell into my lap. But like you, I made some pretty bad hires as well. And I learned from those experiences and how much time and energy and money it cost me. And I was pretty committed to not making those mistakes again. So I tried to identify what parts of the interview process went wrong, what made a good worker and what made a bad one. My business partner, Connor, who's all about building a company culture and company mindset, really changed my opinion on hiring. Whereas I just wanted either the cheapest or where I saw the value deal or someone that I thought had a high skill set, where he was always focused on someone who was a good fit for the company and the culture and would be there long term. And I think there's a combination of both, and we bounced a lot of ideas back off each other. And he works with me at FreeeUp as well. So I kind of use those processes to create this great interview process and 15 pages of communication guidelines, because even if someone is sitting right next to you, communication is important, never mind someone in a different country. So to me, communication is everything. Someone who has that company culture and mindset that really fits in with what I want. And what I want is someone who's committed to their clients, committed to me, who treats it like their own business, who wants to be here long term, who has a great positive attitude every day. So looking for these features and then looking for someone who can follow my strict communication guidelines is, in my opinion, how you find the worker that can help not only your business, but the clients around you.
And a lot of us, I mean, I know I can't be the only one that's in e-commerce that just doesn't deal too well with people. Like we're used to working by ourselves a little bit. And so hiring these people, especially people that are going to be, in multiple time zones away. And, maybe it's morning, well, it's night over here. It's kind of different to build those relationships and sort of get that feel for someone whoever someone else is.
Definitely. And freelancing, like everything else, is not a one-size-fits-all industry. You might have a worker that works really well with a different client, but for whatever reason doesn't work well with you and your business. But it's my job to do is identify workers that can work with a wide range of clients. And they're not just like, okay, I can only work with the client if they do this, this, and this. And that's how you get workers that can be successful over time.
So let's get in. Let's talk about FreeeUp. We can talk about how you started it quickly, but I really want to talk about, being a little selfishly, I want to talk about, how it can help me in my business. And so then how it can help, the folks that listen to our podcast.
Sure. So I started FreeeUp based on the idea that I wish FreeeUp existed when I was hiring for the first time, because the amount of time that I spend in HR and the amount of money that turnover costs is crazy. No one should have to go through that. And there has to be a better way than going on Upwork or freelancer.com or all the other marketplaces and just posting a job and getting all these applicants and having to interview them one by one. And you still don't even know what you're getting once you hire them. You just cross your fingers and you hope that they're good. And then if they're good, you cross your fingers again and you hope that they don't leave you after you've invested time and energy into training them and teaching them about your business. So what I want to do at FreeeUp was simplify the process. FreeeUp gets hundreds of applicants every week. We have a great interview process that I mentioned, the communication guidelines and tests that I mentioned. And we really take the top 1% of workers and we try very hard to be strict on who we let into the network. And it's hard to get into our network. So once the workers get in, we make them available to our clients on a first come, first serve basis. So our clients love it because once they're a client of ours and it's free to sign up, there's no monthly fees or anything like that. Whenever you want, you can request a worker. And when you request a worker, the worker request form has some questions like, do you want US or non-US? How many hours a week? Is it flexible schedule? Stuff that we need to know. So you request a worker and we have these people ready to go. We're not a recruitment company. It's not like you send us a request and we go find it. We can introduce you to the worker you want within minutes or hours, depending on the time of the day that you request it. And we offer workers from $5 to $50 an hour, both US and non-US for every position. So we're not just an outsourcing company. It's really up to you if you want to pay more for that US worker. And then what's cool about us on the back end, so that's all front end stuff that saves you time and gets you workers quickly and they're pre-vetted. On the back end, not only are we hands-on to make sure you have a good experience with our clients, so you'll kind of get that hand-on approach that you wouldn't get on other marketplaces, but we're also insurance against turnover, because I had mentioned how much turnover pisses me off, to be honest. But our workers rarely quit because it's hard to get into our network. And if you quit our network, you essentially lose all your clients with us. And you're not allowed to drop clients if you're a worker of ours. But it is real life. People can quit jobs. It happens. If our workers quit for any reason, we cover all retraining costs. We get you a new worker right away. And we make sure that you never take a step backwards for HR reasons. So that's kind of our guarantee to you. And it's something that protects our clients, and our clients really love, because they know what they're getting into, and they know they're not just going to churn through workers like you would on other marketplaces.
And that's been something that's really difficult for us. Even someone like me, I have 15 or 20 employees at any given time here at my local warehouse, and it's relatively easy for me to the hiring process here. But when I'm hiring people to do jobs that I might even not really know how to do myself, or jobs where it's something that I'm not super familiar with, it's harder for me to judge skill sets and whether or not someone's going to work out.
Yeah, it's tough. And it took us a while to create the vetting process, and you're always improving it. I mean, even when you think you have a good interview process, you always come up with an idea or a situation arises that you realize that you can make it better. So it's been working so far, but we're always looking to improve.
So as someone that sold for a long time on Amazon, what kind of jobs can your FreeeUp workers do for Amazon sellers to make their lives a little bit easier?
Definitely. If you go to my website, freeup.com with 3 E's, you can find a list of all the skills we offer. Basically, we offer everything e-commerce besides bookkeeping and coding. And coding, we're slowly getting more and more into in terms of like Shopify and WordPress. And hopefully down the line, we'll have more development in the next 6 months or a year. But in terms of Amazon, there really isn't anything that we don't do unless it doesn't follow Amazon's policies or it's illegal or anything like that. But FBA, optimizing listings, SEO, research, contacting suppliers in China, PPC campaigns, all that stuff we do. Obviously, listing products and content is a big thing.
What about customer service, like answering customer emails?
Yeah, I mean, we do customer service for Amazon sellers, eBay sellers,
oh, wonderful.
Clients with their own websites, both phone and email support, and both U.S. and non-U.S. workers.
My sister will love you because we get about 20 questions a day. We sell between 700 and 1,000 units a day of books. And so she'll get about 20 emails a day that she has to handle. She will love this service.
Yeah, and the most common question for customer service is, do your international workers speak English? And you don't get a foot into our interview process unless you speak English at a very high level. So if we give you a customer service person, not only are you getting someone that can speak and write English at a high level, but they're also going to have years of customer service experience, reliability, past clients, a history of success. And customer service is one of the hardest positions to recruit for and retain. And we've done a pretty good job of that over the years.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really great. And we're also starting an eBay store, which we haven't done before. We have a lot of books that, maybe 20 children's board books for $20 with free shipping or things like that. We have literally 60 tons of books that come into the warehouse every week. And so the new way we're trying to expand is to sell, 10 level readers for $10 or 20 of this book or 50 of that book as a bundle. And so it would be really helpful if we had someone that our research team could coordinate with to create listings, to optimize them, to figure out, trends and maybe what we should be going for in the future.
Definitely. I mean, that's all stuff that we do for other clients. So we have no problem doing it for you.
That sounds amazing. I'm even looking here on the website right now. You guys even do some marketing.
Yeah,
Stuff?
anything like Google AdWords, ClickFunnels. I have a lot of digital marketing experts on the team. It's not my background, so it's tough for me to dive into exactly what they do. But we do it for a lot of big clients, a lot of people with their own websites that are promoting it. We do all social media, whether it's just managing, promoting, building content. We have writers and blog writers, or doing Facebook ads or Pinterest ads and all that stuff. So any kind of marketing we handle at a high level.
That's really great. And so let's talk about the workflow. How would this work? Okay. So I come and I sign up for FreeeUp and I say, okay, these are the things that I need help with in my business. And then you would find these people. Well, actually, you just tell me. So I tell you all the things I need and what happens from there.
Sure. So let's back up. You become a client. It's 3 quick steps, a questionnaire. So we have your contact information, e-signature saying you won't try to steal our workers and you'll actually pay for the work. And then a payment method on file, either a credit card that we keep on file. I mentioned there's no upfront fees, no monthly fees, anything like that. Or you can leave your bank account on file with us. It's all through secure payment systems. You get a discount if you use your bank account instead of a credit card. And we charge you every Thursday only for the hours that you work the billing period before. So our billing periods are Wednesday to Tuesday. We have no minimums. You can hire a worker for an hour a month. We have clients who hire 10 workers for 40 hours a week. We have no minimums. So once you're a client of ours, whenever you want, in the future, you can request a worker. So it's not like you just send me an email being like, here's my whole business. What do you have for me? You would go in and request a worker being like, hey, I need a customer care person, 10 hours a week. You answer the questions. It takes 30 seconds. Obviously, if you want to fill something and you're not 100% sure what you want or what you offer, you can always set up a meeting with me right on freeup.com. My entire calendar is there, and I'm happy to go through it with you and discuss it and come up with a plan. But once you submit the worker request, then we introduce you to someone, as I mentioned, within minutes or hours. So we're not a recruitment company. We're not going to go out and find them unless it's a very specific position that we would never otherwise recruit for. For example, a good client of mine, every once in a while will have some crazy thing. Hey, I need a French customer service tech person who can work Saturday nights, Then if it's not something I have, I'm going to be honest. And with your permission, I'll recruit for you. There's no cost for me to recruit. You're welcome to recruit on your own. And if I find someone and bring them to you and you want to hire them through FreeeUp, great. So that's really how our process works. It's pretty simple. The sign up is a one-time deal. You don't have to do that all the time. It takes 5 minutes. Requesting a worker takes 30 seconds whenever you want. You can request as many workers as you want. You're under no obligation to hire my workers. I mentioned there's no minimums, and it's pretty fast and easy. The only thing to know is that our workers are first come, first serve. If I introduce you to a worker and you don't interview them for a week, another client can snatch them up. We're never going to switch workers on you, but if it's a short-term project and you hire them for it and you don't talk to them for 2 months and you come back for another project, they may or may not be available. If you hire someone for 20 hours a week, I'm going to be trying to fill the rest of their time with other clients. So that's really how we work. We try to keep it simple and fair for all parties.
And what kind of, what do you have to monitor them to make sure that they're doing the work, or like however many hours? Is there some kind of monitoring in place?
Yeah, so we have our FreeeUp software. If you go to our YouTube channel, you can check it out. We actually just made an update, so the YouTube channel is a little outdated, but we're always looking to improve our software. If you're a client of ours and you go to freeup.com and click login, you have access to your FreeeUp account. You can see a list of all your workers, all their rates, what their skill sets are. You can view the days when they punch in, when they punch out. They're required to leave notes on everything they do every day. You can see how much it's costing you per day. It totals it up, how much it costs you per week. I mentioned our billing periods are Wednesday to Tuesday. We bill you on Thursday, and the numbers match up from your account to your invoice. So it's an open book. You can always see when your workers are working. And I mentioned we're hands-on. So if there's if there's ever any issues, we're there to make it right. Our workers care a lot more about staying in our network than they do about screwing over our clients for minutes or hours or anything like that.
Right, for sure. And I mean, I'm looking over some of this stuff, project management, brand protection, even building an e-commerce store, which is something that we've always wanted to do. The thing is that, as all entrepreneurs, we always have more ideas than we have time. And so there's so many things that we'd love to have that we just don't have the time or the expertise to do ourselves. And we did have, for a while, we had an IT guy on staff, and that didn't work out too well in the end. But it would be great to be able to do these things. I mean, we're definitely going to have a conversation after we get done recording about the different things we can do. I mean, I can just see 3 or 4 ideas for our business that we could use today.
Yeah, and it's difficult. I mean, you mentioned you wanted to build your own e-commerce store. If you go out and just hire some person you've never met before, I mean, you could be paying them through Upwork for 3 months, and then they just disappear halfway through the project. And what are you going to do? With us, I mean, there's that protection. Not only do our workers rarely quit, but if they do that, or the worker makes any kind of bad decision, you have someone who's accountable and someone who's going to get an expert and pay for it and make sure that your project gets completed. So we never leave our clients hanging out to dry.
Now, there's one other thing I wanted to get to, the services that you guys offer. Now, I'm a book guy, so this doesn't apply to me, but I know a lot of my friends that have, 7-figure businesses, they get very hung up on minimum like MAP pricing and stuff, where they'll buy a wholesale product from a wholesaler or a manufacturer, and they have to promise to sell it for at least a certain price, and then other sellers don't do that. And right here with brand protection, you're offering a service that you have people that can monitor the listings for people to make sure that everybody's paying attention to MAP pricing.
Yeah, so it goes 3 ways. I have sellers who will hire our workers to monitor their listings every day to make sure that they're following their manufacturer's policies. I have clients who will hire our workers to monitor their competitors' listings, to report them to the manufacturer, and to make sure that the integrity is there. And I have manufacturers who hire my workers to check on their customers or their sellers. So we're there to kind of protect all angles.
That's really great. So, I mean, really, there's nothing that I'm looking at that I think people would need that you guys aren't doing, for the most part, for all aspects of e-commerce. You said that you don't have too many people that are coding right now.
Shopify and WordPress coding, we have good people. They get booked up fast. It's very popular. We're always adding more. But I don't have, for example, the FreeeUp software. It's code built from scratch. I don't have that available to my clients.
Got you. I understand. Terrific, man. Well, this has been really amazing. Maybe we can talk a little bit more before we get off here about our needs in particular in terms of social media. I know a lot of people want to get more into have a larger social media presence, and like for us, the best I can do is keep up with Facebook. And I know that there's so many opportunities in Instagram and Twitter, and the kids nowadays are using the Snapchat. I don't even know what that is, honestly. I'm not 100% sure. But social media management, as long as you have writers that are native English speakers that can write, that can, that this stuff can be high quality content. So, I mean, how long, I guess, what did you start with and how did you grow FreeeUp?
Yeah, so I kind of put my money where my mouth is. If you go to freeup.com, if you go to my videos, if you go to the FreeeUp blog, if you go to my social media pages, my Twitter, my Facebook, all those are managed by workers. Even my infographics, if you go under skills and you click view pricing, all that stuff was made by my graphic designers, my workers. So I'm giving clients people that I use myself, people that I trust. I mean, it depends on the business for how long does it take going. Those are the questions I usually don't answer because you always have the clients that are like, how long is it going to take me to get $100,000 in sales or stuff like that? And it's my job to fill worker requests and get clients reliable, vetted workers. And I leave it up to the experts in that particular worker to give their own estimates for that particular business. And you don't want people just throwing out random numbers anyway. And you want my experts to actually look at your account and spend some time doing research and doing their due diligence before giving you numbers or goals or expectations or even estimated work hours. So I provide the worker and the hourly rate. And if I tell you a worker is $20 an hour, you're paying $20 an hour, nothing else. But the workers are the ones that give the estimated hours and the goals and stuff like that.
And this is what you're spending the vast majority of your time on now is FreeeUp?
Yeah, FreeeUp has been taking off, and I'm really excited about it. I know my business partner Connor is really excited about it. We see a lot of potential in it, and there's definitely a need. And whenever you start a new company, you never really know what the client feedback is going to be. And we've been fortunate enough that it's been overwhelmingly positive. So we're really excited about it. We're trying to invest all our time and energy into making it the best possible experience for our clients and our workers.
Awesome. Well, thanks a ton, Nathan, for hanging out with us today. And we have a special offer for people. If you guys are going to start to use FreeeUp, and that's FreeeUp with 3 E's, freeup.com. If when you sign up for freeup.com, if you mention the Bustproof Business Podcast, you're going to get 10% off your first worker. You can also go to bustproofbusiness.com and check out our latest blog article that we have about FreeeUp, and you can click on a link there that tells you all about how to get that 10% off of your first worker.
Yeah, and you can sign up on freeup.com and just mention Greg's name, and I'll also give you 10% off. And it gets even better than that. We have a referral program. Any clients that you refer to us, you get 50 cents for every hour that you build that we build to them forever. So not only can you save the 10% off, but if you tell other people, we have a lot of clients who get heavily discounted workers each week just because they've told a lot of people about us. So it's a great way to save money on your workers.
Yeah, and if you tell enough people, you can even get workers for free.
Yeah, I have some clients who do that.
That's amazing. Okay, Nathan. Well, thank you very much for spending some time with us today, and we're definitely going to be talking here in a few minutes about us jumping on FreeeUp.
Sounds great. Thanks, Greg. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Okay, guys. So obviously Nathan knows his stuff about outsourcing and about handling clients from all different walks of life. We're really excited to start working with him, and in fact, as soon as we stopped recording, Nathan and I got into talking about how FreeeUp can really help our business. Again, if you guys do sign up with freeup.com, there's a spot, and remember that's FreeeUp with 3 E's. There's a spot at the bottom of the sign-up sheet where you can talk about who referred you. If you guys put my name down again, or the Bustproof Podcast, you're going to get 10% off of your first worker, and I think that's going to be really useful. And you can also, Nathan, I don't know when he's going to put this up, but he's working on a blog post at bustproofbusiness.com about outsourcing and the best, like some tips about hiring your first outsourced worker. It's something that I failed at a lot, and I've tried to do this a lot of times, using services in the past that just haven't really worked, haven't really stood up to the promise. So I'm really looking forward to utilizing the service, and I hope you guys definitely check it out. You guys know I always talk about how it's really important to double down on what you're good at and figure out ways to hire people to do the rest, because what makes you money is what's your core competency. And for a lot of us, it's not this, posting on social media, and it's not, figuring out how to handle the customer service the right way. All these things kind of tie entrepreneurs down and distract us from doing what we're the best at, which is providing whatever service it is that's our passion. So definitely check that out, freeup.com. And also, I think I convinced Nathan to do a workshop with us as well. So you can go over to bustproofworkshop.com and sign up and also learn more there. Obviously, also, if you could, we would really appreciate it if you left us a review on iTunes. That would certainly help us out. And always, guys, remember to make today count.
That's all for this episode of the Bustproof Business Podcast. Be sure to point your browser to bustproofworkshop.com to sign up for our mailing list and to get your opportunity to enroll in one of our specialized seminars, guaranteeing you continued results in typical Bustproof fashion. Thanks again for joining us. We look forward to taking your business to the next level right here on the Bustproof Business Podcast.